What's that?
Do you think I can film it?
Oh, no.
No?
No, definitely not. You, but I just like all of the stresses of life sort of just either the crisp and cool flight or the range of Riesling.
This flight is a great flight, rosé and red. Started with two different rosés. We have a rosé of Cabernet Franc from 2023. It is our current release. Probably our most popular wine at the moment. We can barely keep it on the shelves. Rosé of Limburger, my favorite of the rosés. This is the 22. We also have another vintage of it, 23. So if you wanted to taste that, if you enjoyed this, we're happy to pour, okay? Limburger, also known as Blaufränkisch. It is 100% Limburger, Cabernet Franc. And then we finish with a blend. The blend is called Devonian Red, and it is a blend of Cab Franc, Limburger, and Pinot Noir. And we do have a Pinot Noir as well. If you enjoy these three reds and want to taste that, it's open. The bottle's open.
Okay.
So, Pinot Meunier, it's just a small percentage always in the sparkling. Say in a Brut, okay, it's going to be majority Chardonnay, and then Pinot Noir, Pinot Meunier. And Pinot Meunier got its name from its very early. Look at these young leaves. They're very pale and silvery almost. Looks like they've been dipped in flour or dusted with flour. And that's how the name came about. Meunier in French means miller, like a flour mill. So yeah. And Pinot is the shape of clusters, and Pinot is a pine cone. All right, so that's the shape of them. You have the fruit, which is always in this area, okay, the fruiting zone. not so much up here. So we actually clip off the tops of the vines starting in July because we don't want all the energy going up there. It's you know, we're not in the business of growing grape leaves, so we want to keep the energy into the fruit. We tie the canes then to these wires, these horizontal wires, and then the shoots are, these are very tight. There must be a reason why they're doing that. But at any rate, the shoots are growing between these wires. Now, they don't just decide to grow there on their own. Somebody has to go in and tuck them in, and then they've tightened up the wires. We also have the tendrils on these vines that are supposed to be curling around the wires to help support the vines, too. They're big, yeah. And this is Riesling territory. Just does very well in this climate. And you can see clusters are a little different. Leaves are a little different.
Is this one Riesling or just number 5 is Riesling?
These are all Rieslings. Yep.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Looser and a little bigger, okay? Yeah, so each variety has its own expression. And of course, that makes sense. The wine also has its own expression, right? This is more what I wanted to show you about the parallel wires, where there's room then for these guys to be tucked in here. Okay, these aren't quite tall enough to stay in here, but literally somebody comes by and tucks these in, okay? If you just look right here, you'll see how all of these grapes are exposed, okay? Whereas here, they're still shaded by the leaves. And that is not natural. That's because our workers have come out and literally pulled leaves off of here to expose these so they get more of that morning sun, okay? These we want to keep shaded because you can actually harm the grapes with the hot afternoon sun. All of this has grown since early May. Whole new variety. It's not Riesling, it's not Pinot Noir, it's not Pinot Meunier, called Arcatzelli, or at least that's how we pronounce it. It's a Georgian grape. What do you notice here?
Grapes are looser.
Much looser, right? Totally, much looser.
Are the leaves bigger?
Yeah, the leaves are much bigger. Yeah. And the clusters are much longer.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Much, much longer. And some of them are not as well developed. Like, look at that's, you know? So it's a little behind some of the other varieties, okay? So Arcatzelli in Georgian means red stem, and there we have red stems. But I don't know if you noticed over there in the Rieslings, they also have red stems. But I don't know. These also grow, they tend to grow more vertically than the other vines, okay? So this is the oldest known winemaking grape in the world. Depending on your source, it dates back 3,000 years, 5,000 years, 8,000 years, okay? But Georgia has a long, long tradition of grape growing, winemaking. It's just an essential part of their culture. If you eat food, you drink wine in Georgia. Yeah, it's really quite an event.
Country Georgia?
Yeah. Country Georgia. Republic of Georgia. Yeah, not the state. Yeah. But what I really want is to share some Arcatzelli with everyone. Okay? Well, I did not bring this as a fashion piece.
How old can a grapevine get before it starts to not produce as much?
So they can produce well into their hundreds, okay? But they're going to get smaller grapes, fewer grapes, higher quality. Yeah.
Oh, it is higher quality.
It's higher quality. Yeah. So that's why old vine Pinot Noir, which we have, is really desirable because they're just richer. Those old vines have very deep roots, and they're just pulling up all these different nutrients and making the grapes way more interesting.
So do you have some years where the grapes are nice, and then other years it's the same vine but it's not nice? Like it's always the
you know,
same
Mother Nature
100-year-old.
determines a lot of stuff here. Yeah.
Okay.
How much rain we get, how much sun we get, how much heat we get. Yeah. And for the last, I don't know, 5 years, it seems as though the what would it be? The even years are nice and hot and dry, which is what is good for the wine, okay? And the odd years, not so great, yeah. Or not as great, I should say. Yeah, yeah. So I'm assuming everybody would like some Arcatzelli, yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you brought a glass for a reason.
Country right now, they're an EU candidate, so their EU flags fly. Oh yeah, well, just laying there.
But a Chardonnay leaf is quite different, say, from the Pinot Meunier that you saw. It's more rounded, they're bigger, not as sculpted. Clusters are different here.
Sure. This was Friday. If only. Yes.